What are you doing?
I don't know, what were you doing? You were just staring at something. I was like,
staring at the camera.
yeah, well, I thought I'd do the same back. See, this is why you subscribe for the visual content.
Is that how the episode starts?
No.
That's a yes.
The episode is starting like this. Breaking news. Breaking. Sorry.
My eardrum.
You should see my... Hold on. You should see my bloody sound capture.
Wow, we can't take... What's the speaker, the inner parts of the speaker called? I'm just imagining it's like...
Thing.
Oh, I'm giving her. She's got cutting. The speakers can't take much more. Oh no, the mic can't take much more.
So, yeah. Breaking news: naked woman fires gun on busy California highway.
Oh, that reminds me. I found. Well, you said breaking news, right? So you know how Courtney and I, and this will lead into the subject. You know how Courtney and I went to Whit Sundays.
Yes.
When we were there, a couple of military helicopters.
Oh yes, one of them crashed.
And one of them crashed yesterday, or one of those helicopters crashed.
Yeah, I heard
was
about
like,
that.
oh, thank goodness. And I said to Connie, oh, imagine if we'd come a week later, we would have seen
coincidence?
We would have been able to see a crashed helicopter in the water. Imagine going out on the boat and seeing that. That would have been good.
I'll just try to keep this short, but basically, a lady, an African American lady, was walking around on the main highway during peak hour with a gun, and she started firing around at places at people. Didn't injure anyone.
Today in Florida.
She was, just like I said, she was firing at occupied cars that were backed up behind her, and it's just lots of these bizarre photos of this lady walking starkers down a road and a highway. She was placed in the local mental health hospital. Miraculously, no injuries reported, and the suspect's motivation was unclear. Yeah. So I saw that through the news. I'm like, what the frick is going on in North America? But then, it wasn't just North America that was making the news. Breaking news again. Man spends $22,000 to become a rough collie dog.
A what? A rough collie dog?
Yeah, so he's you know what a collie, a border collie kind of like?
A border collie?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. When I try to visualize a border collie, I can't think of what they look like.
So basically,
I've seen plenty of them, but I just don't. I don't associate the name with what a dog looks like.
They're basically like a purebred dog, and they're pretty expensive usually.
I mean, I know it's a pure breed, but I don't know what the breed looks like. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Like
I can't visualize it.
Try to imagine like a German Shepherd, but less angry.
Less angry. I didn't know German Shepherds looked angry.
No, they do to me. So a Japanese man who spent more than $20,000 to become a dog has taken his first walk and made some canine friends.
Why did it cost so much? It's not very hard to become a dog. You just get on all fours and bark.
He spent 2 million yen on a hyper-realistic border collie costume to fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming an animal.
I think is that really breaking news? I've seen that ages ago.
Yeah, apparently it's a YouTube channel. He's been trying to do it for all these years.
It's a YouTube channel, is it?
Toko is the person's name. Was being seen playing in his backyard on all fours and performing tricks in exchange for treats.
Are they dog treats or are they human treats?
Actually, it didn't say, just a treats.
Well, that's the important part. He's got to commit to the part. He's got to get his jaws on one of them nongers.
Yeah. It's truly bizarre, and like it's basically just a human walking around on all fours.
You want to piss him off? You get like some
a cat.
You get a bit of ice cream thrown on the floor. All right, that's your dessert. Real dogs eat off the floor. Here's the question: does he clean the floor? Because if he wants the real experience, it has to be a not clean floor.
So, a Japanese company called Zeppet, which makes costumes for TV commercials and films, spent 40 days making the $22,000 outfit.
40 days? How hard is it to make what?
It's hyper-realistic, so basically it's got all the fur. It looks like this.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. And it's not that realistic.
Not really.
The face does not
the face is a bit weird.
What's the channel called?
They
spent 40-something days on that face.
Toko, I think it's called.
Toko.
Toko. Toko. CO, which is weird because usually tacos like T-O-T-O-K-O.
Taco the human dog.
Yep, that one.
Taco dog. I want to be an animal. 35k subscribers.
Yeah, only.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's got dramatic music playing.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. So yeah, that was really surprising to me. Like, what the heck? I mean,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is...
it is a thing.
There's a man in there, is there?
Yes, there's a man in there.
I become a collie fulfilling a dream I have since I was a
Yeah, so
child to be there.
like Troy said, search up taco man wants man dog or something. Real life dog.
I'm watching
man,
it
whatever
right now. Yes. It's,
So, yeah.
That is a video.
That is a video. So anyway, welcome back to Average Blokes podcast. And
Yes, he must be pretty rich if he can have like
Yeah.
a white girl owner
Yes.
in Japan.
exactly, that's the thing too that I took away too. Is looked like a foreigner what lady?
She's probably Russian. She sounds
Possibly.
European.
Yeah.
Watching him walk, it's like watching. Oh my goodness, the back feet
Yes.
are like.
They're like they're dragging along to the girl.
Is it all the dogs? Oh my goodness, the dogs walking past are more confused.
Not
You know how
surprising.
dogs usually like
Yes.
bark at each other and look at each other? The dog looked at him, went to go over to him, and then went, "Wait, that's not a real dog." The dog literally went, "Ooh, oh no, not real.
No, not real. No,
you
don't
can't-
fall for
you
it,
can't
Bessie.
fool me. You
Bessie,
can't-
this is
yeah,
the
you
fifth
can't fool-
time you looked at the thing, and it's not real.
You can't fool me.
Yes.
Can't fool me. I've got the schnauzer of a bulldog."
Yeah. So remember how we had our phone call yesterday on Friday?
You forgot something though.
What did I
Yes,
forget?
but you forgot something.
What did
You
I
said,
forget?
"Welcome back to the Average Broke Podcast."
Yeah, I'm about to get on that. I think I'm about to get on that. So we had a phone call on Friday, and I said to Troy, I never say my name in the intro.
You don't.
I don't. So I'm Jackson for those who don't know me. It's kind of funny because all this time you know Troy, but you didn't really know the other guy who's just sort
He
of sitting
didn't
there.
know me, even though I said my name all the time, just not at the very start.
It's very, very professional hosting duties, you could say.
Yes, well done.
Thank you very much. So
Hi,
yeah,
my name is Sven.
is it? Oh, and hello, Sven.
I think Jackson thinks that it's very sexy. My mum in that phone call.
Oh yes. Oh no, that was Facebook. Bloody,
Oh, was it on
it
Facebook?
was on Facebook. A very
That's
sexy
right, it was a
accent.
Facebook
I
chat.
got a very sexy accent.
Yeah, no, yes.
No.
She was impressed with the accent. She's like, "Is that Jackson?"
Yes.
Oh, he does sound Scottish. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. He sounds like someone trying to sound Scottish.
That's it, really. That's why I can't say I'm trying to exactly be like Scottish because
And then
I'm
Judy
just-
broke into my name is Helga.
my name is
I'm from
Helga.
Sweden.
That kind of got me because I was like, that's not Judy. Turns out
Yeah,
it was.
no. Yeah, that actually was Judy.
Yeah, that was well played, I have to admit. So, do we want to explain the last episode that was ordinary?
What, you mean that you were on... Jackson wanted to do an episode while I was on holidays, and I was like, yeah, we could do that. I could use my phone, and I could record like my face, use the phone camera and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't end up doing that. So instead, when Jackson was driving halfway across the country...
Literally.
Now, when he was driving further out, he decided, we'll do the podcast over the phone while
Yeah.
I'm driving.
And that wouldn't go wrong at all.
Yes. And I was like, you know what? I can do that. I'll just play Rocket League while doing it.
And you played one game only, and then you were training all the time.
It's true, yes. And then halfway, most of the training, I just stood there because I realized I wasn't able to focus on the podcast and playing Rocket League at the same time.
Yes.
Even if I wasn't concentrating on Rocket League, I still couldn't really form cohesive sentences.
Oh, Troy's learning big words like cohesive and sentences.
I mean, I wouldn't call sentences a big word, but also I'm not even sure if cohesive was the right word.
It made sense to me.
It does
stuck.
make
It's
sense, but it's
stuck.
not the word I was going for.
You know, fair enough. So yeah, you're
so
welcome or
apologies.
you're not welcome. You're welcome or you're not welcome, I guess is the way I look at it for the
That's
episode.
right.
But hey,
Yes.
content. Wank and
Jackson's
number
gotta
plates.
get out the
Wank
content.
and number plates. It was very appropriate.
I started seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's funny how when you hear about something, you pay more attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like if it's in a simulation.
Yeah, no, not quite.
No, not quite.
It's a known effect, Jackson.
It's unknown. Yes, that is true. Yes.
I forget what it's called, but it's a known psychological phenomenon. It's the same phenomenon as when you start describing to people a disease of some sort, the symptoms for a disease, and the person starts experiencing those symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sore left arm, bit of just under the arm, just under the armpit, you feel a little sore there.
Yeah, my left arm's starting to feel sore now. No.
You say that, but it probably is.
No, well, I'm sure I'll walk into a wall or something.
And then you start getting headaches, and that's a sign of nose cancer.
Nose cancer. So you've got
sore arm and headaches.
So you've got cancer of the nose. Now, don't be alarmed. It's very curable. You just got to blow it to bloody Timbuktu and back.
Oh my goodness. No.
Yes. So, Troy, do you want to get into some highlights of the week, or do you have any?
Not really. Except I went back to work. That was a highlight of the week.
You had work lunch.
My highlight of the week was a work lunch of this Friday because I got to finish work a bit earlier. But my highlight was actually not the work lunch. It was finding out that because our company's been bought out by a bigger company, this other company, they do these work lunches these themed lunches once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And usually we just have like a Christmas breakup or a mid-year sort of like meeting / lunch / thing. So it's good to know that I'll be able to go to these work lunches once a month.
Yep. Gotcha.
Which I wonder how many of the other guys will actually come.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have, really, because it kind of helps you with your group, with your colleagues.
It does help a lot with the colleagues because I don't see anyone most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I probably only meet in person my managers like twice or 3 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with my boss. And I talk to the warehouse guys like every 3 or so days, but it's usually a pop in, hey, how you going? I'll sign for my order, a quick couple of 2 words, and then it's off to my job site. So I don't really get to sit down and have a chat with them or anything like that.
Yep.
But it is nice if we're actually doing these work lunches once a month. It will be nice to sort of like have a chat with people, see where they're at, see what they're up to, including like the other levelers.
Yep. Fair enough.
But yeah, that would be my highlight week, finding out that we're doing this once a month.
Fair enough. My highlight was cooking, strangely.
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah, so we got
Alright, moving on.
Long story short, I got a Thermix at home and I haven't been using it ever, so I got it out of the pantry.
You didn't just get a Thermomix, you got a brand new, brand free.
Wedding gift. Wedding gifts are great.
Brand free.
Brand free?
Sure. Wedding gift. Jackson, I wouldn't call it a wedding gift because your mother would have given it to you even if you weren't getting married.
I mean, probably. I mean, she was
his
a consultant.
Mother won a contest, didn't she?
Yes, that's actually right. That's correct. She actually won a.
She won a contest.
Yeah,
she already had a Thermomix.
Yeah, she was a consultant at one stage, so we called her the Thermomix Queen because that's
a consultant. What, for Thermomix?
Yeah, so she would actually go and do demos.
It's too hot. It cooks too fast. Gotta slow it down. Jackson, Jackson,
that's not how.
Jackson, come, photo, Jackson.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Jackson, Thermomix. It's too hot.
Thermaling and mixing put together. Bam. What a genius invention. But yeah,
I thought it cooked stuff too.
It does cook stuff. Okay. Like pumpkin soup, for example.
Oh, did you lazy? Never mind.
It's so good though. Look, the best thing about it is that the wife approves of the soup that I've been making. So it's a good day to be. It's a good time to be a chef for my wife, especially with the Thermix and just good old reliable. We're using a thumbs up because this is definitely an audio medium. No, Troy, how dare you?
Good on you.
You can't say.
Good on you. You finally made pumpkin soup.
I mean,
in the Thermomix.
It's not just any pumpkin soup.
It's mixed.
It's the best.
It's not just mixed. It's Thermomix.
If you're privileged enough to have a Thermomix, man, you got it good. Having a Thermomix is really like a cheap device.
Yeah.
It really is.
How many times have you used it since your mum got it? Besides this time.
Well, I've been using it in the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, but before that, how many times did you use it?
Once every 2 or 3 months.
Come on, Jackson, be more honest.
Once every 3 to 4 months.
No, I thought it was like once every 6 months.
Once every 4 to 5 months.
That's a bit better. We'll stop there. We don't want to go once a year.
No,
Oh, the privilege. Oh, feel the privilege. I can't pronounce it properly.
Privilege. Say it with me. Privilege. He said one drink, and
I don't even know. I don't even know what that word means.
Oh, don't worry. It's okay. It's probably best that
when you've worked hard like me, and earned stuff like me.
Earned stuff. Oh, you've earned it. He's foaming. He's necking a beer, guys. This is what he's trying to do. You can't see it, but he's foamed the neck.
That was a close one.
That. Yeah, see, I don't know beer talk, but like...
Jackson, I found out the secret about all those other podcasts. What they do is they always have a beer in their hand, and it works every time.
I mean, yes.
It's not that I have 22 beers left to go through because no one drank them.
It makes no sense, though, because podcasts are audio format.
That is
the only
true.
way you're only going to know is if you're doing visual format, or you're telling people like, "Oh, I've got this beer on my hand. Look, you guys get around me. I've got a beer on my hand, guys. You should listen to our episode because we've got beers on our hands."
It's a good ASMR. All right.
Congratulations, you said it correctly for once.
What ASMR?
Yeah, last time you like AMR, ASMS,
LGBTQI+.
I mean, now you're just way off. But on
LGBTQI. Oh, what's wrong with my camera? There we go.
Yeah,
I was going to add the P to the end.
Fair enough. Been cooking up storms. Quite literally.
So you cooked pumpkin soup, and what else did you cook?
I cooked up rissoles. Beef rissoles.
Rissoles.
Yeah. I've done them a few times actually. They're really nice and easy.
Speaking of mothers, what do you want?
We go live now to Judy, Troy's mother.
Yeah, I guess. Also, I'm doing the podcast with Jackson.
Yeah, you should listen to it.
Can't remember.
I saw, what was it? I saw like $1 something come out of one of the accounts, and I thought it was my account. But was that yours account for Crunchyroll or something? Have you got Crunchyroll?
It's not a spring roll. It's a bit different.
Okay, good. You don't know what it is. Don't worry about it.
Not a spring roll. Before you think.
Also, you're. No, don't worry about it. I'll talk to you later. Bye. No, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Bye.
Yeah. Crunchy rolls, they're not the same as a spring roll. They're a bit different. Like a chicken roll, but like you watch stuff.
Do you know what Crunchy roll is, Jackson?
I do know what Crunchy roll is.
What's Crunchy roll, Jackson?
Crunchy roll is like a streaming service for certain specific animes and stuff.
I mean, no, it's just a streaming service for animes. They just can't afford every single anime.
I guess so, yeah.
And it's usually they usually have to get animes that they're allowed to dub, I believe.
I shouldn't. I knew because my sister's, my younger sister used to have it. I don't know if she still does or not, but yeah.
Because I have an account because my mother and I have a shared account with the same bank, so that if I want to transfer her money, I just put it in that account and she can take it out of that account. If that makes sense.
Yes. Because
we've got a shared account, sometimes it comes up with transactions that happen on that shared account. And I picked up my phone and I saw something that said like $1.95 for a Crunchyroll or something, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. But I flicked it away before I got a chance to see what it actually was. And then I saw another transaction that was like $150 to this credit card. And I was like, what is this credit card? And then I looked it up and I was like, where have I seen that before? And I went, oh, that's right, because Judy used it to buy something, and it's pay as you go sort of thing. It's like PayWave. What are they called? All those different for payment things.
Oh, like lay-by and stuff like that.
It's like lay-by, yeah.
Right.
But it was weird because I was like, wait, is this my account? But no, it was from the shared account.
Okay, fair enough.
Which I don't even look at really.
All right.
What else did you make?
What else did I make? I didn't use it to make apple pie. That was a bit of a shitty effort, really, to be honest.
That's okay. I just comforted Courtney about the apple pie she made today.
Would have been easily better than mine.
Well, she got... I think this is the second time she's done it, but she pureed the apple.
But that's what you kind of meant to do.
I don't like... So she likes it thick, chunky pieces of apple. And I don't like that. But I also don't like puree. I like the apple pieces cut into small squares, roughly. I like a Macca's apple pie.
Yeah,
I like an apple pie. So it's but with more apple, obviously, because I don't put much in. But I want a nice sort of apple juicy sauce with sugar and caramelized slightly from being cooked or boiled with cinnamon. And then these little chunks of apple that have being cooked, but they're not falling apart. And Courtney misunderstood that as me wanting pureed. so I walk out and she's like, "How?" I'm like, "Did you want it?" She goes out and she goes, "Did you want it pureed?" And I was like, "No." I said multiple times, "No." And she, I did you a favor, and she got upset.
Well, it's funny because you're like my wife. She doesn't like it pureed either.
But does she like? But she doesn't like big chunky apple bits, does she?
Well, I tested my limits, right? So I literally cut up slices of apple, slapped the bloody pastry sheets on top and bottom, and it turned out to be a completely stupid disaster because it just didn't work.
Because it looked hilarious.
I know. It was one of the pies of all time.
Don't worry, Jackson. One day I'll teach you how to make real apple pie.
No, because I've made apple pies better before, but Letitia didn't like them. And I wonder if that's the same thing with you, because like I tried pureeing them, and I thought that'd be better because it's got more like it feels like an apple pie.
I'd rather have a pureed apple pie than I would than chunky bits of apple. If I want a chunky bit, like I'm talking apple slices that have been cut up into like, I think Courtney cut them into 8.
How many apples does she use?
Into 8 pieces.
How many apples did she use?
I don't know. She used like 10 or something.
Yeah, okay. I usually like 6 or 7 myself. So.
But she added another 2 to the puree so that it had some chunky bits in it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
But I'd rather have apple puree than these big, thick, chunky bits because I might as well just cut up an apple and eat that. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. It's not really an apple pie if it doesn't have some form of liquid puree or caramelized something in there.
Because the apple Macca's apple pies are one of the best ones I've ever had. Strangely,
they're my favorite. Yeah.
That's the only thing I like Macca's for.
And not just the the filling is nice too, but the filling is just basically
syrup. It's like a weird syrup.
It's syrup
thing.
or it's sugar.
Yeah,
it's sugar with a little bit of apple juice from the apples and all that, and a bit of cinnamon.
Yeah,
which isn't that difficult to make.
I should probably see if I can find a recipe that's similar to the Macca's apple pies because that'd probably be good.
But so you made an apple pie. Well, that's good.
Yes, I used to make them all the time though, but I haven't been as active with them.
Oh, well, that's all right. I'm not mad, just disappointed.
Why should you be mad and or disappointed, considering you don't live here? There used to be a time actually I used to make apple pies for like when we had gatherings.
I'm not mad or disappointed for your wife.
Oh, thanks. That makes me feel a lot better.
On behalf of your wife.
On behalf of my family and friends,
I feel
disappointed.
Look, I'm not saying Savannah, your daughter, is disappointed, but if she could understand what disappointment was,
if looks could kill,
she does. Well, she does know what disappointment is, but if she could articulate disappointed, she'd be looking at you right now, going,
"No."
Yes, that's exactly what she'd say. It's one of the only words she can say.
No, she'd
say
no.
No, she'd go no.
She never says no once by itself.
Oh, Savannah, you want to do this? No.
Usually, which in for her language usually means yes.
Does it actually?
Yes.
My goodness.
Because that's common. I think that's common actually against toddlers and babies. Apparently.
I see. They all understand that no means yes.
Yeah, reverse psychology is the best.
It's real.
It's so
for
real.
them.
Yeah. All right, Troy. I want to get into our subjects. I want you to start with your amazing subject about the fact your holiday, and one thing in particular I've enjoyed you retelling 1,000 times, and I can't get over it because it's still the funniest thing.
I see. Well, my subject is. I don't know.
And you think my piano things are bad?
I love it how I get to introduce my subject after you've already mentioned it.
Yeah, well, you gotta segue
my
into
subject
it.
is holidays. What are holidays? Is this a holiday? Maybe if you drink enough of it, you'll go on a holiday.
Yes, apple cider vinegar is really good for holidays.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm drinking. Great Northern apple
cider vinegar. That's a similar colour, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it's close to the apple juice flavour. Yeah, my apple juice is delicious.
You too could get drunk on apple cider vinegar with this one trick.
What happened to him? He drank too much apple juice. Too much apple cider vinegar.
We've lost it.
Started melting his insides.
No, let him be. He'll be okay.
What happened? Vinegar poisoning.
Which type? Apple cider.
Anyway, yes. I recently, just the other week, went on a holiday.
Yes, we touched on this briefly, but yes, let's expand it more.
And I won't go into too much detail about where I went, but basically I went to a coastal town in a state in Australia.
The reason why you don't want to say where is because we don't know how to pronounce it properly.
No, I know.
No one does.
I just don't want to.
Well, the locals think it's something else. To how we
You know what? I'll just say it. I went to Airlie Beach.
Oh, there we go, folks.
I went to Airlie, but if you want to go on a holiday, don't go to Airlie Beach.
Go to Cairns.
If you do it to go do a bunch of activities, right? So Airlie Beach is not worth going to for the beach, all right?
Definitely not.
Don't go there for the beach. If you want to go there for the beach, you're gonna have to organise a boat trip or a trip to one of the islands off the coast.
Mm-hmm.
But only do a one-day trip because weather can be bad and all this other stuff, even during summer, even during winter, etc. You don't really want to. You can go during summer, but then you got to deal with the stingers, so it's going to be dangerous more dangerous to swim because they'll kill you.
Sort of, yes.
That's why Courtney and I went during winter because it was still really warm and nice. It was still shorts weather. It was still fantastic. It was warm. And it was great. The weather was fantastic. The weather was good. The bad thing was the boat.
Yes.
We originally get there, and I'm a bit nervous because I haven't flown on a plane for ages. But as soon as we start boarding the plane, that nervous, scared, I'm going to die on a plane crash feeling turns into scared, excited, I'm getting on a plane feeling. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. This is novel. I'm having fun.
Yeah, this is what fun is.
This is fun.
I'm having fun. Look at me having fun.
And then we get there and we land on the airport, and Courtney comments about the airport was just like this airport in like this poor African country she went to one time. Like it was that small.
Congo? No.
Yeah, one of those places where it was the country's airport. It was the same size as the country's airport. Mm-hmm. So this small little airport in Queensland, just at the Whitsundays, is the same size as this African country's main airport.
Okay.
It was a pretty small airport. Mm-hmm. So we get there, we spend 2 days at our nice resort in our nice boat room. We get accommodation that's like a room, but it's in the shape of a boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't too bad. It was nice, but I started having concerns as soon as I realised both the accommodations we'd organised for had pools there. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why would you need a pool if you're at the beach? Well, you walk down to the beach and it's nothing but rocks. and the bits that are sand in the main town, there is this area that is actually sand in the main town. By the way, you know it's worse when the main town has its own pool next door to the bloody beach. Like, you walk 500 metres and you'll go from the beach to the pool.
Troy,
they're next door to each other. And I'm like, quickly? Why?
So if you've ever been in Cairns hasn't got a beach as well.
It's got the same thing.
It's got mangroves. It's got mangroves.
But Cairns has got a pool as well.
It's got a lagoon, yes. They call it a lagoon. It's a massive man-made pool, which is kind of like a beach kind of looking thing.
Yeah, do they get water in from the actual sea though?
I don't think so. I actually don't know. Good question.
Yeah, so this has got apparently they've got the same thing in in the Gold Coast, is that right?
No, Gold Coast has actually got beaches.
Okay, good. Because I'm sitting there going, why have you got pools? If you've got I get during the summer it's stinger season. You don't really want people in the water. I get that, but during winter, apparently they're not usually there.
Yeah, okay.
But I've realised it's because their beaches are shit.
The Queensland has the weather, but the beaches.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been to the Gold Coast since I was like 4 or something. So
yeah, I've been there.
I don't know what their
beaches.
Are their beaches any good?
Gold Coast beaches are very nice, very big.
Okay,
actually,
good.
nice and stretchy, nice and wide beaches.
Good. Okay, well at least I look forward to that.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's the first part of the trip I'm a bit sus about. Courtney organised 2 things. She organised for her to do skydiving like the day before we were going to leave, and 2 days after we got there, she organised, before we went to our second hotel, she organised us a boat trip, 2 days on a boat, where we'd go snorkeling, and then we'd go to Hamilton Island, to the beach on Hamilton Island. Well, we finished our 2 days at the boat resort, I guess I'll call it, boat room resort. Then we get on the actual boat. So according to their thing on their website, is part of the, like you sign, you waiver, say, it's not your fault I die, it's my fault, or if an accident happens to me, it's not the company's fault. So the first thing that confused me greatly and worried me, and this was after we were already on the boat, or I think it was either during our little boat trip or afterwards, Courtney tells me that she organised the trip with Sailor Wit Sundays, right? Mm-hmm. Who then went through the travel agency, who then went through Explore Wit Sundays and organised the boat trip. So already going through three different people,
yes,
just to get on this one boat.
So sketchy.
It's so sketchy, and so I'm already raising an eyebrow about it like that. Like, don't these people have their own setup and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've figured out through information from what Courtney's told me, from what the skipper's told me on the boat, which we'll get to him soon enough.
Oh yes, I can't wait.
Oh. And from just general knowledge is what's happened, right? Is all these companies, they all just interchange and switch people around and switch these boats around, switch crew around and whatnot, and it's just whoever can get it. So I reckon the boat that they were originally going to put us on, because we were going to be on a different boat, but Courtney didn't get in touch with them within 24 hours, so someone else already got the deal.
Oh.
And so they went, we can offer you this other boat. So I reckon they've quickly just put it all together.
Right.
So they don't have these boats ready to go most of the time. They just kind of plan it as they go.
Yeah.
They just throw it all out there. But one of the things that in the little description is that if you want to get on the boat and enjoy this trip, you have to speak English for one thing. Well, we get on the boat. I can safely say 2 of the people on the boat were from China and didn't speak English. Because A, I didn't hear them speaking English. B, they didn't speak to anyone except for their kids, who were from Melbourne. And when I say from Melbourne, because when we all introduced ourselves, there were German people on the boat. There was a German family who went, yeah, we're from Germany, yeah. And then we get asked by the skipper, where are you from? And Connie and I, we're like, we're from Melbourne. And then the Asian couple, or the Chinese couple, they go, oh yeah, we're also from Melbourne. Well, you're not from Melbourne, see, because you moved there 6 years ago to study and never left. That doesn't mean you're from Melbourne.
No, you live in Melbourne, that's what it is.
You live in Melbourne.
Yeah.
You're not from Melbourne.
No.
In fact, if you'd said you got Australian citizenship, then I might change that around. But you didn't say that. You just said you're from. Maybe they did get a citizenship. I don't know. But they turn around and say they're from Melbourne. But they brought the girls' parents along who were from China.
Okay.
And only spoke to the parents in Chinese. So already I'm sitting there going, this is like I can
best day of your life.
I'm already sitting there going, I'm sitting there going, oh God, this is going exactly how I calculated it. Because I don't calculate worst case scenarios, but I go, right, how is this?
Worse.
What would go wrong in this? How would I not enjoy this situation? I go, well, worst case scenario, I end up on the boat with a bloody serial killer. Or a group of serial killers or something like that. And I go, second case scenario, I end up with a group of people I can't relate to in any way and struggle to communicate with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what happened? I ended up with a group of people who I struggle to communicate with and don't have anything in common with, including the skipper. He spoke English fine. Yeah. He was, but we didn't really have much in common. In fact, the only thing we spoke about was football, and I'm not even like AFL, and I'm not even a big fan of AFL.
No.
It was just the only thing because he lived in Victoria at one point, or it turns out his brother was from Emerald.
Oh, okay.
And I used to live in Gembrook, which they're next door to each other.
Yeah. Jeez.
But yeah, the only thing we spoke about really was the football, and I'm sitting there going, I haven't kept up with the football in years.
you asked me what's the latest.
Could not relate to this guy. So already it's a bloody nightmare because the only person we could relate to was the hostess because she was she must have been between 22 and 24. She might have been late 20s, between early to late 20s, but probably early 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even she was not the most because she was from, you'll love this, so she was from the UK, but she was from an island off the coast of the UK that's a tax haven because sometimes it's part of the UK, sometimes it's not part of the UK.
Okay.
I said to her, why'd you come down here? And she goes, well, the only job I could get on the there, like where she was was as an account, not an accountant, was like a tax person or an accountant or something. And I was sitting there going, okay, that makes sense, I guess, but you could have just gone to the mainland of the UK. You didn't have to go from this island to Australia.
Was it from Isle of Man or something?
Yeah, I think that was it, Isle of Man.
Okay.
Is that, what's the deal there?
It's in between. It's a little self-governing micronation. Well, not really micronation. It's just
that sounds about right.
Country.
Yeah, well, apparently it's a tax haven, so
wouldn't surprise
that's where all the rich people are putting all their money.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't say, it doesn't come across as a tax haven place, but yeah, I guess it probably would be.
Well, you could imagine if they're not part of the UK, but they are, you can put your money there.
Because they're between...
They'll take the pound.
They're sort of in between where Ireland is and the UK.
Well, there you go. But anyway, she was a nice person. She was interesting to talk to, and she was a good hostess. She worked with what she got, basically, because the skipper was he was a bit of a nightmare in himself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to preface it by saying he wasn't a bad bloke. He was a nice bloke, but he wasn't a travel, like he wasn't a tourist person. He wasn't a tourist advisor or tourist guy who helps you out, like who plans things out and wants people to have fun and enjoy themselves. Right? He was just a man driving a boat. He was just he was just the operator. It was actually like working with someone in an excavator. They're just there to operate the excavator. They're not there to entertain you.
Yeah.
But the comparison I can give is basically the skipper was like he wanted people to enjoy themselves, but he didn't know how. He kept asking us like, "Oh, you guys having fun? Oh, you having fun? Are you having fun? Oh, we're going to do this." And 10 minutes later, he explains, "Oh, we're going to do this." Yes, you've explained that. He repeated himself 3 or 4 times, and then when someone asked him a question, he couldn't answer it properly. Like if we went, where are we going next? He'd go, "Oh, we could go to a bunch of different places."
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, where are we going next? Answer the bloody question. Don't dodge the question. Courtney asked. Oh. But anyway, we get on the boat. We're going to Hook Island, where there's a snorkeling spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Courtney and I are feeling a bit queasy because it's rough waters. I get Courtney to give me the anti-nausea pill, which I don't think this. Well, they don't work if you take them in the middle of feeling nauseous or the trip. They make it worse. So I ended up throwing up, and because Courtney walked down to get the anti-nausea pills, and when you walk down to the cabin, it's basically throwing you all over the place.
Yes.
She comes back up, and she'd taken one. So 5 minutes after I threw up, she threw up. And then after that, the whole trip, even though on the way back, like the next day, the water was much rougher.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't throw up at all.
Okay, that's good to know they worked after.
Well, they didn't work after. They didn't work at all. That was the problem. The reason why we threw up was because of the anti-nausea pills. So it's quite ironic.
It's very ironic.
But yeah, we get to the snorkeling spot. It's a bit rough. It's a bit rougher water. We get to the snorkeling spot. We go and we have a snorkel, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do the first snorkel, and that's the one I was recording with the GoPro that I got off you.
Mm-hmm.
Someone bloody kicked the GoPro 11 minutes into this 45-minute snorkel. So when I finally started using the GoPro properly, before I was actually like swimming around, I actually dived down and was like using my hand pointing it at stuff. The camera wasn't working. It was shut off, and I didn't check it because I was busy snorkeling and I'd turned it on. Ironically, it's got that little light. I could have sworn the light was blinking the whole time, but I guess I didn't see it. Guess I wasn't paying attention.
Yep.
But yeah, so when we finally got back home and I looked at the footage, I hear I'm watching it. I'm like, wait, there's only 11 minutes of footage here, and sure enough, at the very end, you see a person's foot, and I hear there's a sound like a sort of sound, and then it just cuts, and I'm like, great, someone bloody kicked the camera. And the second snorkel we went for about like half an hour after the first one, or half an hour after we got back from the first one. I didn't bring the camera because it was low on battery.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is when we looked at some more interesting stuff, ironically, so I was a bit annoyed about that.
So happens the case.
Yeah. But before we did the snorkeling, right? We get to this place. The skipper goes, "Oh, what do you guys want to do? You want to go snorkeling? You want to go hang out at this island, right?" The Asian couple or the Melbourne couple say, we're happy to go snorkeling. The German couple say, "Oh, we don't want to do as much snorkeling as possible, right?"
Mm-hmm.
The guy looks at us. Courtney and I go, "We're happy to do whatever, right?" "All right, let's go to the island." All right, we'll just go. We'll get on the boat. We'll just quickly go to the island. You guys can do the mountain track. I think I've got footage of the mountain track. It's nice. It's all right. It's just a small, tiny little island. Like you can walk around it in about 5 minutes. But everyone else wants to go snorkeling. We've said we don't care what we do, and he's taken that and he's gone. We'll go to the island. We'll do some fucking idiot. So we get on the boat, right, and I feel like I'm one of the only people that's dressed up like I'm about to, like in case I fall in the water, I can swim. Yes. So we get on the little dinghy that's behind the ship. He pulls it up. We all go to this island, right? I'm sitting in the dinghy. I look down near my feet and I see a little anchor. I'm like, oh sweet, there's a little anchor so you can throw it down and the dinghy won't move or anything, right?
Yes.
We get to the island. The skipper jumps out of the boat. At this point, the hostess is back on the main boat. And just watching things.
Yes.
But the skipper gets out, and there's other people who were on another boat next to us. They come up around the same time as us to the island. Mm-hmm. They get up. They drag their boat onto the little sandbar bit. We get out of the water. The skipper gets out. He's pulled the boat. He's holding the boat in place so people can get out and get on the island. And I go, do you want us to drag the boat up? And he goes, No, it's fine. No, it's fine. And so he's standing there, holding this dinghy boat. He's half in the water, and he's holding this dinghy boat. We get out and we go for our little walk. We go for our little bushwalk, right? We walk up the mountain, and as I'm walking towards this little track, I look back and he's still just standing there holding this dinghy. I don't know what you call these little boats. I'm going to call it a dinghy, but
yeah.
What's that?
You pronounce the G.
Dinghy?
Dinghy. Yeah.
I don't care how I pronounce it. It's close enough. Anyway, we get to the top of this mountain hill where the lookout is. Mm-hmm. We look down. It's a beautiful view of Hook Island and all these other places. And right now the weather's good. I look down and I can see him still in the water holding the bloody dinghy. And I said to Courtney on the way up, do you reckon he's still just standing there holding it? He stood in the water for about an hour, maybe less, maybe funny. 45 minutes, just standing there holding the boat. And I'm sitting there going, why didn't he just throw it into shore or chuck the little anchor on the ground and go for a walk or get out?
It's so funny.
Oh,
have you gotten to the best part about that guy yet? Come on.
I haven't gotten to the best part about that guy. No, anyway. So we get back from our walk and we're confused. I wanted to walk across the sandbar and walk across the water, but I'm not sure what we're allowed to do or what we're not allowed to do. Mm-hmm. And the guy even goes, oh, you can go for a swim if you want. And I go, yeah, I might do that. So I went for a bit of a swim. Mm-hmm. I was the only one who went for a swim then. Everyone else comes back. We all get back in the boat. We then go to this little snorkeling spot in Hook Island, do the snorkeling, right? Mm-hmm. While we're taking a break from the first snorkeling before we went on the second little snorkeling, and bear in mind, what we were supposed to do is we were supposed to snorkel in this one spot, then go around the other side of the island to this other spot and snorkel there. We didn't do that. We just got out, had lunch or whatever. Or did we have lunch, Courtney? After the first snorkel, was it lunch or not? We had snacks. We had nachos. We had some snacks.
Nice.
Courtney was trying to figure out whether we were going to go somewhere else or not because the skipper was like, "Oh, we'll do some more snorkeling here, or do you want to go to another spot?" And we're sitting there going, "Where do we go? What do you want to do? Like you're the skipper. You're the one who's operating the boat. Are we going to another location? What's the deal?" And he goes, "Oh, we'll have lunch and then we'll go for another little snorkel and just up a bit from where we were." So we snorkeled in this one spot and then we snorkeled 100 meters away. In another spot 100 meters away. He took us back out 100 meters away. Between the two snorkels while we're having lunch, Courtney goes up to him and goes, "Can I jump off the side of the boat?" Because she's looking and she's like, I'm still in my wetsuit. I want to go for a swim. I want to dive down. She goes, "Am I allowed to jump off the boat?" And he goes, yeah, well, later. Yeah, what did he say, Courtney? Later? If it's a safe area later,
Safe area.
we're gonna move the boat. We're gonna move the boat in 10 minutes. Well, we didn't move the boat in 10 minutes. We went for another snorkel. Halfway through the second snorkel, he's calling out to me as I'm snorkeling at the water and looking. I look up and he goes, "Oh, come back. We'll go to another area.
Go to another area.
Why didn't we go to another area to begin with? Fuck me. Oh. At this point, look, I'm just happy. I was happy to be in the water snorkeling, having a bit of fun. I'm sitting there going, I'm not gonna call all the other people out. The German people have got their little stick GoPro there, swimming around pointing it. Mm-hmm. No, I'm the only one not using a bloody float except for Courtney used it, but she only used it because she tried to dive down, and it was the buoyancy from her wetsuit was bringing her back up, so she couldn't be bothered. So I was the only one swimming without a noodle.
Oh,
everyone else had noodles.
Gosh.
And I'm sitting there going, this is, real safety feature. Like, the other thing I forgot to mention is the life jackets were apparently underneath this flotation thing. And I'm sitting there going, if the boat flips or if an accident happens, we're not going to be able to even get to the life jackets in time. We're not going to get to them in time to strap up for something if something goes wrong. So that's all good and all. And so we finished the first snorkeling, and then we sat back, relaxed for a little bit after the second, and then the guy tried to take us around the island to the port where to a little alcove where we port for the night or whatever, or anchor for the night. But he gets to the corner of the island where you've got to go around this little rougher bit, and he goes. And apparently it goes, oh no, it's too rough, and full on twists the wheel and full on 360, full on turns the boat. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my little tiny two-person cabin, which is only big enough for. It's only a one-person cabin, but they call it a two-person cabin. And I'm lying back, just going, I don't want to be outside getting wet, but I can't move around here because it's too all over the place. I'm lying there, and he does this full 360-degree turn, so he pretty much turns into a wave because it's too rough, so he turns around. Instead of easing around or something, he's full on, and this is me. I get thrown across the bloody... Oh... I'm like, and I get thrown. I'm like, what the? I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? I thought we were going to another. At this point, it had been rough, and we'd been going on waves, and I'd been lying there, and I'd been going, whoa, weightless down again, whoa, weightless down again. But this time it was whoosh.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh,
I'm like,
funny.
And I'm like, fuck this. If the boat's gonna flip, I want to be on the outside, not in here.
Oh, that's it. Just chuck a Yui. All right.
That's exactly what he did. He just chucked a Yui. I heard him. Oh no, I heard him. He's like, oh, we're going backwards. Oh, we're going backwards, and he flipped. This is a bloody sailboat. He only had the front sail out about from this finger. I need to come out. He only had the front sail about 2 meters out. Which sail? He only had the head sail out about 2 meters the whole time.
Oh, that's not very much.
He just rode the boat had a motor, so he rode the motor like no tomorrow.
No wonder.
Huh?
The
boat is for port, mate. Yeah, that's right.
No wonder he's almost gone backwards because he didn't have enough of the sail out. Probably.
So, we've chucked a Yui. We've gone back. Chucked a Yui in a boat.
A sailboat as well.
We've chucked a Yui in a sailboat. He was fighting the current.
Oh man.
All because instead of taking us to this other area earlier, or taking us to the snorkel area, he decides to go at 4:00 in the afternoon instead of 2.
No time like the present.
So he's gone. He's chucked a Yui. We've gone back to the area where we first snorkeled, right?
Yes.
And anchored for the night.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So a couple of extra things I want to get to.
Go on.
This sail trip, right? The price of it. Mm-hmm. So the price for 2 days for one person was the same as what this other company offered for a day trip.
Okay.
So it was like $400 for this 2 day trip, while This other company offered this day trip $100. But here's the funny thing: this other company's got this really nice speedboat. It's called Thundercats, and they offer a bunch of other stuff as well. If you do the day trip with the Thundercats, they zoom you out to the snorkel spot where we were, right? Mm-hmm. And I know this because 10 minutes after we did our second snorkel, they rock up, 25 people jump in the water snorkeling, right?
Yep.
They're snorkeling, and then they get back in, and they zoom around to the other snorkel spot that I found out about later.
Yes.
And they do so for the price. We got one snorkel trip for the price of two.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
so.
Yeah.
That's kind of shit.
Yep. No.
But it gets worse.
Yeah. Go on. Do tell. You haven't got much time left, but do tell.
Because I'll summarize the story with the second day. Besides having obviously I've slept in uncomfortable positions before, so it wasn't the worst sleep I've ever had. But it was pretty tight. I was against the wall because Courtney takes up the whole bed.
Yeah. Girls gotta do what it's got to do.
But above us, there's a little window thing that you can open and close. Ours had a bloody crack in it.
Oh, lovely.
So when we were in the rough water would come up to the front of the boat and drop down into where we had our stuff. So our bedroom flooded.
Yeah.
I may take up the whole bed, but this bed
was like no other.
Size of a couch.
This bed was smaller than a single.
Yeah,
it was smaller than a single person bed.
You know our couch here?
That is
You
pretty
can't
This
see
small.
is our bed.
You can't
is-
see it.
This is our
That
bed.
is so small.
Courtney's visualizing.
Yeah, I can just imagine your couch.
It's a two-seater
Yeah.
couch.
It's the
No, I can
size of.
imagine.
It's a size. This bed was the size of a 2-seater couch. That's
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah. That's
So we made do. You can sleep anywhere realistically.
Yep.
And that wasn't an issue. But yeah, the second day, we then go to the area where we ported, where we were originally going to go at the end of the first day. We go there, and we have breakfast there, and then spend a good hour just sitting there while the tide goes out to make it easier for the skipper to go back to port. We then head back to port, right? And we're all sitting there going, okay, because the water's too rough to go anywhere else. He didn't even try to go anywhere. We were supposed to go to Hamilton Island, but he's like, no, the sea's too rough. No, it's too rough. Okay. To be fair, it was, look, I don't know if it was rough or not, but we were at an 80-degree angle pretty much all the way back to port. Like, the boat was like this on the waves. The waves are crashing into the boat, and it was going. At one point, there were 2 points where I was like at that, right before something reaches 90 degrees, and you start going ready to jump.
Upright, yeah.
You start getting ready to start instead of sitting, you start climbing.
Yes.
There were 2 points where I was ready for that.
Oh goodness me.
That's how bad getting back to port was. But we're getting back to port. We make it to the main where all the boats are ported at Airlie Beach and that. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, and Courtney asked the hostess girl, what's going on? What are we doing for lunch? Because we were supposed to get lunch, and lunch is at 12.
Yes.
We were getting back to port around 12, and she goes, "Oh, I don't know. We've never had to come back early before."
Good timing then.
Fuck's sake. We get back there at 12, right? We're supposed to finish at 4.
Yeah.
We're supposed to we get there, we get back to port 4 hours early. And the guy freaks out because someone's parked their boat in his little in the spot he's supposed to go. He's like, he looks up and he's like, "Oh fuck. Like he's got no." And I'm sitting there going, "Just go into another spot." And I literally said, "Why can't you go into another spot?" And he goes, "Oh, because that's someone else's spot. I might get charged. We might get charged."
Oh my goodness me!
It's not even his bloody boat. Let me tell you about his bloody boat.
Oh, tell about him as well.
I'll get to there. I'm almost there.
Okay, it's a good point.
So he manages to find a dock. There's so much more to this story, but I can't really go too. I can talk forever about it.
That's all good.
Little nitty bitty details.
Yep.
We get back there. He's like, "Oh," he gets help sort of setting up the little stairs so we can walk down from the boat onto the pier. And it's like, "All right, boy, all right, have yourself a nice trip. All right, good job. I hope you're having fun, right?" And we're walking away. I'm like, it's it's bloody 12 o'clock. Our hotel isn't supposed to be ready until 2.
2.
Courtney's like, our hotel's not supposed to be ready until 2
Yeah.
because I expected to be back here at 4, so it should definitely be ready.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the hotel was ready at 2,
Oh,
so
that's good.
silver lining is we got back 4 hours early and got to chill in a really nice, comfortable, fancy hotel for the 4 hours.
That's good.
But he's just at 12 o'clock. He's just like, all right, see you guys later. It's like we didn't get lunch. We paid for fucking lunch. I paid for 2 days and I got 1.5. I got 1 day.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I spent $400 just to fucking spend the night on a couch. Oh. Now let's get to the skipper.
Yeah,
right?
let's get to the skipper.
Now I want to start this premise with he was a lovely guy. He was a nice guy and all
well.
that. But he meant well and he tried his best. But he was working casual shift.
Oh, he was
working
I didn't
casual.
know that.
And
he was casual.
you didn't know that you'll love this. So, number 1, he and this is his words. He called himself boat bitch because he literally said I'm boat bitch because all the boat companies and sailing companies, when they don't have anyone, they hire him.
Oh, okay. Right.
So he works for multiple companies as casual, or,
Okay.
as a not
He's
a subby, a
yeah,
subby.
kinda like that.
He's a subby for them.
He's like the
a
guy
contractor.
you see in a newspaper thing saying needed one, like, need a sailor, hire a sailor.
He is he's trade hire or labor hire. He is labor hire for sailing.
We have
for
a sailor
sailing
at home.
boats.
Sailor at home.
He's literally sailor at home. We have sailor we have skippers at home. Skipper at home. This bloke.
Oh, that's brilliant.
He's a lovely guy. I won't say his name or anything like that,
okay.
but he told me. So he told us his main job was working at the mines, right? So he wasn't.
Start.
He wasn't even like a skipper by trade or anything like that. He was a casual boat enthusiast. And he hadn't worked in over 3 months because he had 3 pulled discs, and he'd recently gotten cortisone injections in his back, so he could. I guess so. Either he could work with the 3 discs out, or so it could help pop them back into place or something. Yeah. So this guy can't lift heavy stuff, or he's not supposed to lift heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But he's the skipper on a sailboat, where you have to pull ropes.
Yes.
Like
really, yes.
he struggled. He had to get help most of the time. I had to help him a couple of times. The German guy had to help him a couple of times. The Chinese guy from Melbourne didn't do anything. I'm not going to say anything there, but he did not help with much.
Well, he's not meant to. Like, you're not meant to, honestly.
Here's the funny thing. It's supposed to be authentic sailing experience, so you're supposed to learn how to sail a little bit. And I got to hold the steering wheel. He said to me as we were going out of port, "Oh, can you just keep the steering wheel straight?" While he went and did something, and I'm sitting there going, "Okay," and I'm just sitting, I'm holding. I'm like, "Yep, this is great." I'm just holding the steering wheel straight. When I was holding it, I was that tempted to just go.
Do you?
I was tempted to try turning the whole thing and see what would happen.
So if I do this.
But yeah, so this guy's he's injured, right?
He
doesn't do this. He doesn't do this as his main job, and according to him, he's never sailed this boat. He'd never sailed this boat before, so no wonder he didn't want to pull out the sail all the way.
Oh, that's so freaking funny.
It was unfortunate because the guy's unprofessionalism and his inability to decide, and the whole trip he was very unconfident about everything he did, and he couldn't decide. He couldn't make a decision. He kept flip-flopping.
Oh, boy.
But because of that, his indecision sort of transferred over to the hostess, and she was struggling with a few things, and it made it more difficult because we'd dock right. She'd get started on lunch, and then he'd come down 10 minutes later and go, "Pack everything up. We're going to go to another area."
Jeez.
And she goes, "I've just set up lunch. Everyone can eat now. Or we've just set up breakfast." And she was struggling, and this trip was the first time these two people had met.
Oh yeah, no, it's not good.
Yeah, so we've got the skipper and we've got the hostess who have never met each other. She's used to the other skipper, and she's explained what the other skipper did. And he even asked stuff like, "What would this guy do in this situation?" And she couldn't bloody answer. When we were at port, right, she goes, "Oh, what does Frank usually do when he's in this situation?" She goes,
"Oh, tiles."
I don't know." And even she said to Courtney, she goes, he's gotten me to do some things I wouldn't usually do. Like, I've had to do it before, but not this much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, so no wonder the guy, it was a complete and total shit show, and the ship itself was falling apart.
You could have just said it was a ship show. That would
No, it was an absolute ship show, yeah.
that would have been
So-
perfect.
So I don't know, not the rev, but the rev odometer, I don't know what you'd call it, but that was broken. Like someone had
okay.
smashed the glass for it. The radio was broken. The first thing on the trip, he goes, "Oh, we've got an electrical problem or this problem." Oh, the radio, what's it called? A system error. We've got a system error or a system problem. The radio's not broken. He goes, "Oh, we've got one waiting there, but you'd have to pull off the panel to install it, and I don't want to do that because it's not my boat." So they've got a radio that's meant to fit in the actual panel, but nobody's installed it. He finally turns on the lights. He turns on the power to the boat when we're puckered down for the night. And here's the best part, right? It's got these LED lights. The LED lights have like a wire coming down, and the wire meets the bloody main for the boat, and the thing that's attaching them together is bloody electrical tape. So they're not even wired up properly. Someone's just hand twisted them on and taped it up.
It's beautiful. Such a beautiful holiday experience for you.
Oh, it's a joke. I want to show photos because I've got a few photos of some of the things and videos. What we had to do to fix the leak into our room is we had to get a plastic bag. We had to put it around the glass, right, and then put a hole through the bottom of it so that we could twist the thing to lock it into place. So we've just put this plastic bag around it, put a hole in it, closed it, and then locked it. And that's how we managed to not get wet during the night.
Oh boy, when you actually first told me the story, I could not stop laughing, and I still can't stop laughing.
But here's the worst part, right? So
Go
we organised this. If we had gone with this other company that had this Thundercats boat, right? We could
Yeah.
have gotten for the same price a 3-day deal where one day we go snorkeling, another day we go island hopping, and the third day we go to the bloody waterfalls on the mainland.
Oh damn.
Uh,
Oh well, next time I guess.
I don't know if I'm going there next time. I'm going to Cairns.
God, Cairns.
I'm canning it in Cairns.
Yeah,
Or I'll go to the Gold Coast. I'd rather die on a
go
roller
Gold Coast.
coaster than
Go
on a
Gold
bloody
Coast.
boat.
Well, though, to be fair, it depends if you like the nature stuff or you like the more human sort of type of.
Ironically,
exoticness.
this boat trip went exactly how I calculated.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, I imagine this is how it's going to happen. It's not going to be it's not going to be life threatening, but it's going to be a bit bumpy.
Yep.
I imagine I'm going to be sleeping because I've slept on bloody small. I've been on boats before, but it's been years since I've been on a boat, so I know how small the little cabin area is and all that. And when I heard we were getting on a sailboat, I'm like, yeah, is it a big sailboat? And Courtney couldn't answer that, and I was like, yeah, it's probably not a big sailboat. And it was
It's a dinghy.
It was a small sailboat.
It was a dinghy. Oh, that's brilliant. That's an amazing story. And yeah, I you know what's funny? That story went as well as I expected because it took up the hour.
Took an
mark,
hour.
which is
I
beautiful,
just
which is
checked.
Beautiful. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Oh.
So yeah,
But
Troy's
but the
horror
good news.
holiday from hell.
But the good news is, we
The
got back to the
goodies.
hotel, and I started playing Breath of the Wild, and it was fun.
Yes, that's good. That's
When we got to the hotel, it made it so much more worth it because you had the most amazing view of of the port, and it was the more expensive hotel. The
Is that
best
the
part
one on Ali Beach? Is
Yeah, that was one
yeah.
on the actual beach, so it's
Yeah.
on the very corner of the shoreline.
Yeah.
And it was so nice. We got to our room. Courtney and I were stoked.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Courtney didn't have a shower while we were on the boat because the shower and the toilet were in the same room. And so basically, the room you step in to use the toilet, it was a very small, like it worked, but it's a tiny little toilet. It's like it was smaller and tighter than a portaloo, which is actually quite like you got plenty of room in a portaloo, but you also don't have as much as like a normal toilet. But it was tighter than it felt in a portaloo, and yeah, the shower was a little thing that you could but you didn't have hot water unless the motor was on. So you're going to have a shower while you're moving, or when the boat has just stopped. And when you stand in the toilet, it was too small for, like, I had to duck while I was in the toilet and in the shower. So I'm ducked down, washing myself, bent over.
Yeah, okay.
And they let this, they let this boat go to shit when you have a look at the soap dispenser and there's mold growing in the top of it.
Oh, that's delicious. That's what you want.
Courtney was going to use the soap in the soap dispenser, and then she saw the mold and was like, "Nope."
Nope.
That didn't stop me. That didn't stop me. No wonder I was sick when I got back.
Yeah, no, that would do it to you. Yeah, I'm just looking at photos of what yachts with showers look like. Yeah, they look like claustrophobic nightmares.
It's if you're someone who doesn't like being in a tight space, I wouldn't recommend getting on it. Yeah.
No, that's it.
Okay. So my final thing I'm going to say is the double bed that we got. So you pay extra for a double, right? It was smaller than a single would be if you paid for a single. So if one person pays for a single, right, you get more room than if you paid for the double for two people.
Well then.
And the double's more expensive than the single. So Courtney and I would have been better off getting a single for her and a single for me. And we could have even slept. I could have slept underneath her or above her or vice versa. And we would have had more room and it would have saved us money.
Yeah, it's...
Instead, we got the private room, which was a curtain and then another curtain. Real private.
Oh, goodness me.
Absolute joke.
I think go on.
I want to write a review of it because you have a look at the website and you have a look what the boat looks like in the photos.
It looks
complete. Look, it looks the same. It's the same shape.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like it's... So the boat looks... These photos look about 10 years old. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. This is the boat from home.
Mm-hmm. Don't get on the primer.
No.
Okay. Don't ever get on the primer by Explore Whitsundays or Sail Whitsundays or any of the... Not that it matters. Apparently the boat was going to be sold that week, so they really did not give a shit.
Oh, that's awesome timing.
Yep.
Well, that's it,
as soon as I heard that, I was like, that makes perfect sense. No wonder we're getting a shit deal. They just did not stop. They just did not care.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening. I'm done. I'm finished. It's the end. I don't want to talk about this ever again.
No,
except to friends and family.
Yeah, no, that was a brilliant story. I just loved it so much. But like, that was just a tiny bit of your holiday. But yeah, the rest made up for it, I guess. But yeah, that was just so good. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you've enjoyed that amazing storytelling, yeah, let us know if you had anything.
There's more where that came from.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, we'll.
You should have seen when I was driving the other day. I'm driving around the corner. The guy cut me off.
We'll see you next week.
Alright, I'm done.
He's done.